are some communities of these worlds, of these countries, that are actually seeing the reality of things, like India, China, Japan, are finding out that there are black communities in the United States that are making up these fashions, these type of music, and that is why you see like YouTube videos of Asians and Indians saying we, our people, are wrong. We love your community and whatnot. I mean, we still can't trust them, but all right. I got another video on it on I forgot his name, but it's about racism basically. But I'm gonna tell you the title of the video and he in the channel of the video, which is White Guy reveals why he's racist against blacks, and his reason will shock you, by J.R. Wisdom. One thing is I never gotten into why people are really racist. I just let them be racist and walk away, basically. If they don't do anything to me, then I'm good. If they do, then I'll just fight. I'll try to walk away, but fighting is gonna be the last thing I'll do, basically. Uh, it's gonna be well, the not the last thing I'll do, but it's for emergency moments. So I'll take out a knife, or if I don't have a knife, I'll raise my hands, get ready to fight and whatnot. I'm probably gonna get a EDC gun, so I won't have to. I could just get the pepper spray rounds, and yeah, just use that. Uh, but yeah, I haven't fought in a long while, so let's get on with the video.
I'll do it. You're not going to believe this, but the same reason you are. The same exact reason that if you hit the lottery right now and you had all cash on you, you would move as far away from the hood as possible. If you seen a black person, you wouldn't even risk it. Be honest, you wouldn't even risk it. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of white people you wouldn't risk it with either. But with white people, they probably organized the lottery and skimmed a bunch off the top and then laundered it back around. But no, racism is really a Jewish invented word. I don't think anyone hates anyone for the color of their skin. That's not really what we're talking about. Crazy when you think about it that we've had to explain ourselves so many times that what we hate is ignorance and lack of courtesy and lack of decorum and lack of respect and lack of boundaries. Like that, bro. The same thing that pisses y'all off. You know those day walkers in the hood that are just like, oh, bro, don't tell me when you see Mr. You got $1, can I use your phone? You don't turn the other way. That's all it is. Or when you see a YN, tell me right now you don't turn the other way. You'd have a low IQ to not turn the other way. That's all it is, bro. I don't think we got this southern horror story.
I mean, yeah, I live in Baltimore, so of course there's gonna be a lot of people on the street asking me for money, and yeah, I will walk away. There's a lot of prostitution where I live at, so if any woman asks me if I want some, then I'll say no, and walk away. So yeah, I can understand where he's coming from.
Racism that you guys read about. Ours is more like
But the thing about him is, even though he said he's racist and he's white, he got all the he has the whole tattoo thing like Lil Wayne. So his whole a lot of a lot of a lot of racist people do take away from the black community, like the whole tattoo thing. Uh, his outfit's probably uh styled like we do in the black community. He probably has a good amount of shoes that he shows off and whatnot. But
just
yeah,
be reasonable, bro. Come on, damn, bro. Please, like we don't even want to talk about this. To be honest with you, bro, we got to invent and books to write, and this is the thing too that no one talks about. This is not like a choice we made. This is actually like a survival necessity. Look at Arena Zarutska. Like seriously, had she been a little skittish, she would be alive, bro. But she was like, I don't want to not sit with my back to a black person. That's crazy. But the reality is, it would have been safer for her to not sit next to him. And also, don't get it twisted. White people saying white pride and coming out and being proud of who they are does not mean we don't like black people. That's not what it means. Because although 13%, well, really it's 14% of black people make up half the violent crime, I know because I have a high IQ, but it's really a small few that ruin it for the bigger bunch. Most black people, when you run into them, they're super cool. Even black girls, I think sometimes are very insufferable, but that's like one version of black girl. But then there's the come here, baby, hey, baby. I love when an older black woman calls me baby. That just makes me feel like warm inside, dude. And I'm a psychopath. I don't have feelings like that. But the same way you don't want us to lump you in with the YNs, don't lump us up in. It's not like some like southern horror movie Get Out type. That's not what it is, bro. If you want to get on anybody's, go check the younger women specifically. Make it cool for dads to stay around. I think that.
I mean, if I go into the white community of Baltimore, which is the county side around Catonsville and whatnot, Timonium and whatnot, then you will see a lot of Confederate flags. Uh, they really don't mess with you. They will look at you like, why are you here? And they will look at you with disgust. Just like in Virginia, when we went to this one restaurant, there was a motorcyclist who went inside this restaurant that we was in, and he had a Confederate flag. He didn't say anything to us. He he basically just looked at us with disgust, sat down. We he got They got their food because they was a couple. Uh we looked at them with disgust because I was with my sister and her husband. Uh and they didn't really do anything. They just ate and walked out the restaurant and drove off. Just like the white racists over in Baltimore. They don't really do anything uh unless they really feel like doing something. So I could see where he's coming from, but yeah, I don't know, bro. It's a very complex. It's a very complex conversation, basically.
Solves 90% of that. That's literally kind of all we're asking for. Be like, hey, just inside voices and raise the kids to not be like that, you know? That's all we're asking. I don't think it's like crazy. And excuse me for speaking unfiltered.
Yvonne is my little Pookie Bear. We're in Arknight's Enfield and we're checking Yvonne out. Respectfully, of course. I know I said Pookie Bear,
But you asked, so.
So I don't know if that was like from a racist perspective. I guess he's calling himself a racist, so I get it. But a lot of the things he said really doesn't just be reasonable and all these things like that. Bro, you have to look at American history, right? You have to look at American history, and I think it's weird how people, even black African people who are completely separate from black people, let's just keep it funky like that. Africans are completely separate from black people, even though when things happen, they try to say we're all the same. It's not. You have Africans who will say racism doesn't exist, right? And you'll have a lot of white people who say racism doesn't exist. But this guy says he's a racist, and he gave some pretty poor examples, in which he says, be reasonable, do all these things. Do you not know about slavery? And once the Emancipation Proclamation happened and black people were free, you still had white folks inventing laws to prevent black people from really accumulating wealth, succeeding and things like that. But as a lot of people say, black folks were doing well before integration, right? When things were separate, they were doing well for themselves before integration. You have people whose houses were being burnt down. You have people who weren't allowed to go certain places. You have sundown towns. You have all these different things that were going on just because the color of their skin. And it makes you think fundamentally, because people will say, and this, I'm not going to the point of saying like you're born racist. Obviously, it's something that's taught. But it makes you wonder how this isn't just a U.S. thing. This is a worldwide thing. It is. It's a worldwide thing in terms of racism when it comes to white versus black or people of color. And I've always wondered, or I'd like to go back in time and wondered how it all started. What was this about? You know what I mean? And we can go and talk about the Arabs and blacks as well, because that's what people like to go back to in terms of racism and things starting like that. But black folks have always been the lower class, well, at least for the better half of the last 1,000 years or 1,500 years or just 2,000 years for that matter. When some of you can look at, when you look at the world as a whole or world history as a whole, that's just a small point in time. Where you can talk about the dark ages for black folks and things of that nature. But he is right in terms of, in the black community in America, it's a matriarchy, which anytime a woman's in charge of anything, it's going to be some problems. There are going to be some problems. And yes, when a woman makes decisions in terms of the household, statistics show that the child is more likely to be more successful in life, not as likely to go to prison if they have two parents in the house. But for whatever reason now, we can go ahead and talk about welfare and all these things like that, but why black women just want to have kids and not have the father present is just insane to me. Don't want to be married, just want to be strong and independent, and I don't need a man, and a man's not going to tell me what to do. And as a brother said in a video the other day, you want to be in the driver's seat. And that's the downfall of the black community now, because the women are in the driver's seat. Black men aren't. Once the black men, and what I mean by that is solid black men who are well-to-do, strong, willing to take care of their family, not drugged out and all these other things, then we'll see, because he said 99% of the problems. I think that is correct as well. But those who are really stand up and really want to have a family, and the black woman is not in the driver's seat in terms of the black community, things will drastically change. But you have a people who are being raised by single moms that are creating young men who are not emotionally grounded and who are very emotional and who are led by a woman who's not rational, reasonable at all, and has a hate or distaste for the black man. It's a very interesting conversation just to hear this, why they're racist. I think a lot of times people don't know it's just based off what you're taught. My father was racist, my grandfather was racist, my mama was racist, so we're gonna be racist. And it's just the stupidest thing ever just to hate somebody that you don't even know. They're gonna steal, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. And black folks look at white folks the same way, that they can't be trusted. They're trying to do something to you. So it's this matrix, the reason for the division, where it started, is an interesting conversation in itself. Nothing and no one is like the black American in the United States. Nobody has a similar experience. There's nothing like it. The most copied human being on this planet. And I just hate to see that things that have gone on since the inception of this country, and things that continue to go on. And
A lot of our fashion, a lot of our what we do basically is copied from to all the communities in the world, except for like Arabic. Well, I can't say that because they do have rap music uh in uh in certain in certain uh in certain Arabic countries that they like to listen to in their own language. Just like with Indian but a lot of that is whitewashed because of the white community taking our stuff uh and then reporting it to importing it to other countries, like the music, the fashion. They like to take our stuff and show other countries that they're actually doing this type of fashion in our country. They're doing all this type of music in their country, but they there are some communities of these worlds, of these countries, that are actually seeing the reality of things, like India, China, Japan, are finding out that there are black communities in the United States that are making up these fashions, these type of music, and that is why you see like YouTube videos of Asians and Indians saying we our people are wrong, we love your community and whatnot. I mean, we still can't trust them, but maybe we can find a way to be open minded to these these communities, and maybe one day we can come together and be as one, because all these all these communities outside of the white community, we all have we all have similar family traditional stuff, family traditions, like uh the matriarchy. A lot of the Asians, Indians, uh Spanish communities have ma- 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 matriarchal matriarch I can't say it. uh very they always look up to the mother, basically. Uh every child looks up to the mother because the mother is always the one that stays at the house, helping the children with their homework, cleaning up and whatnot, while the father is working. Uh, Another thing is uh, what else? The mother is always protecting, so that's another reason why we always look up we always look up to our mothers because our mothers are always protecting us. Uh, we listen more to our mother than we do to our father. Uh, what else? Another thing is the fathers are always working. It's it's new now that both of the parents are working, but back in the day, the father will work and the mother will stay at home, basically. So this is the reason why we always look up to our mothers than our fathers. Uh, we always get beatings and whatnot, even with the Asian and Indian communities. They always felt like beatings are a necessary way of discipline. Uh, the mothers are the mothers are always have the bad attitudes. You will always see the mothers arguing husband with their husbands and whatnot. Uh, and some other stuff basically. So yeah, etc., etc. All of the family traditions over all over the world, except for the white communities, are based off matriarchy.
People, if you haven't lived it, if you haven't had certain experiences, if you live within your own communities, i.e., your Chinatowns, your little small communities where it's just your people, then you don't really see certain things other than what you watch on television. And you're
Mhm.
programmed in that. So you should have your own sovereign mind to be able to think for yourself and look at the history of why things happen and why you're here, especially if you're an immigrant, man. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Much blessings and abundance. Stick around for the next videos. It's going to pop up on the screen below. That's where I'm going to see you guys at. It's your favorite everything. This is Wisdom. I'm the best. Let's run it up to 1 million. Quit playing with me. Peace.
Same with me. Look me up. Support my channel. I got uh I got different platforms you can look me up from, and my usernames are right at the bottom of the screen. Take a picture of the QR code that is for my link tree. uh I wanna get monetized on YouTube, so help me get monetized. Hopefully y'all will love these videos I made for you. Uh, Click at the end screen. You already know. I got more videos for you. I got 2 YouTube videos. If you're on YouTube channels, I mean. Uh, you will see them at the end screen. My Twitch is, like I said, at the bottom. Just search me up on Twitch Kick and go to my link tree. You will see everything that I have on there. And yeah, have a nice day. I'll be coming back with a new video soon. Hopefully y'all will come back to my channel and watch it.